What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Nemo's Room, where we ingest, digest, and break it down. Today, we are going to be discussing our boy Akademics. He has found himself in some more hot-ass water, our infamous internet gangster. He is in some beef with Mano, and Mano is one of them real ones, and someday, shit talking is gonna catch up to you. Let's get into it and see what the hell's going on with this boy.
So this all started with a podcast called Let's Rap About It that was started by Mano, a rapper that we haven't heard from since All the Above, which is probably what T-Pain was talking about when he was handing people hits back in 2009. That was the last song that I ever heard from Mano. And he's a New York City rapper. He's been in and out of prison for like his early career, and now he's more of an elder guy, but he's also...
I'll tell you something, Mano has been more than in and out of prison, dog. If you from New York, you know Mano. You know about Mano.
Known for, finding people that talked bad about him and letting them know that's not okay. We also have Dave East, who was a member of the 2016 XXL Freshman Cypher. Yes, New York rapper as well. And we have Fabulous, who's another member of that podcast, who's a New York, New Jersey rapper. He spends time in Jersey, bum.
Fabulous is very much New York, and that is a crazy lineup right there too. All of them rappers, man, I'm telling you. If you grew up back in them days, we had some solid music, I swear.
It's just that a lot of these rappers moved to Jersey so quick, and then a guy like Fab, he spent 20 plus years out or in his career, so he's out.
And like Jersey is nice.
Out of there. And this started off with Akademics talking about one of their fashion decisions on this podcast.
Fabulous being like 49 with the headband. Like, yo, why is he wearing, the headband is for sweat. So, like, the headband looks wild.
To his credit, like, there are some of these rappers from back then, that still try to hold on to the nostalgia, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of the swagger. The new gen, they just, they'll eat you alive.
Like, this is unk activity. Like, this is what? This is like you having the Allen Iverson sleeve on and you're just chilling. Like, that's for a reason.
And you know what's funny about this? I think he could have came a little bit harder at the rap careers, because when you look at the 2016 XXL freshman list, the biggest quote-unquote failure, if you want to say, is Dave East. He was the worst performing one because...
Brother, there's been worse. The XXL ciphers went down from, I want to say, when Uzi and them went on. Now, I know that's a bit controversial to say because that was like one of the best ciphers. Well, they say. No, the new gen says. Go down the history of the XXL ciphers, there was some harder fucking ciphers. And from that cipher, I feel like because we let so many of that genre of rap perform, there was little lyricists. There wasn't any bars, honestly. From that cipher, it was dead. Like, I think the best cipher for me had to be one of the BET ciphers, man. BET ciphers were crazy. When Shady Records came on and the whole Slaughterhouse and them, that went crazy. We don't get ciphers like that no more.
You think about Dave East and G Herbo had the same cipher together. And G Herbo, he had that song Went Legit this year. G Herbo's just been consistently good, growing year over year. And then you've got Denzel Curry, who's been a success, right? The only person you could have compared Dave East to is Designer, but Designer had a diamond hit. And on top of that, Designer...
Why the fuck? What, are we talking about numbers? Because I feel like the concentration is more on the numbers than the actual art, because to compare Dave East to Designer is fucking mad. Dave has bars. What the hell?
Designer's kind of having a little bit of a revival right now. Like, there's been motion around Designer's rapping. Partially it's because he's rapping different and there's the novelty factor about it where they're like, yo, this guy can rap normally? Yeah, if you can't rap normally, it's highly unlikely that you started making music.
What's up? Academics, I know you not talking. You
That's how
got
we
the
on it?
audacity to be speaking on and what is wearing. You talking about what is wearing? You talking about the proximity between what is wearing and their age? Let me explain something to you. You're a journalist and this is your opinion, so let me give you my opinion on you. I feel like you built like a I feel like you built like no, listen, 100%. Listen, I feel, let me just say how I feel. I feel like you built like a wet bag of laundry. I feel like you're built.
This is what happens when New York niggas get started. An element of the streets is knowing how to pick your battles. You know what I mean? Knowing like when you finna take an L. You know what I mean? And to just back the fuck up. Act doesn't really show that bone. I don't know if he has that little mechanism in there.
It's either you a lame or you not. It's either you with it or you not. It's either you understand or you don't. Period. Point blank. You understand? And when you speak about fashion and when you speak about what you're wearing today, let me just give you some game though. Timbs, Air Force Ones, Pelés, Avirexes, and all the things that you see people wear today, those things was made hot in this generation here. Those are the things that was made hot in the 80s and the 90s, and we made popular. So like, leave out of that. Like you giving it your opinion.
That is a strong point there. Like Gen Z, they like to shit on the people and the things that paved the way for the way they even move today. You know, music, you know what I'm saying? Like I've heard a lot of new gen say, you know, F Biggie, F Pac, but like that old school shit is the reason why you are able to do the drill shit of today, but they don't like to give credit to the ones who paved the way. I don't understand what that is. It's almost like they feel like they invented everything. Like I came up in the 90s, right? In my generation, we still had an appreciation for the old school music.
And my opinion of you is I think you built like a woman with 4 kids. Like, what are we really talking about? No. Let me talk though, because this is the problem. Talking every day we wake up saying.
So at this point, this is all in good fun. Keep in mind though, this is escalating it because first off, Academics comes at their careers a little bit, but I don't think they took too much offense to that because now they're in the podcast game. But he came for what they're wearing.
If Pac was alive, when the motherfucker said, you know, fuck Pac or whatever, I bet you half motherfuckers would say it to their face though. That's another thing too. Like we are guarded so much by the internet. You know, this fucking shield, this wall here. Like they're not experiencing the consequences of actions and speeches in real life, in real time. Like they can type whatever they want to type or say what they want to say in videos and shit. And this internet wall has protected this new gen. And I feel like that is also part of the reason why they get away with, you know, slandering the old school so hard.
Which is, it's funny. Like, yo, what the hell are you guys? What are those? You remember that? Mano is turning it into what Academics looks like or what he's shaped like, right? So this is a minor escalation. And it is funny, though. Mano's response is funny. But he could have came at Academics with a list of different outfits that he was made fun of for. He could have brought a different printouts showing them what he was wearing at Everyday Struggle, just different fits that people make fun of Academics for. He could have made fun of him for Cardi dressing him up, talking about, oh, I would never let another man dress me up. Just a bunch of different material that he could have come up with, but he didn't, and he came with this, which wasn't bad either. However, things would escalate a little bit because Academics, he would react to this and start off with a brutal roast. I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now.
Hold on. Yo, by the way, Mano, you know we're potted, right? I got to put some ground rules down into this because you know when you beat them with the words, now they try.
See, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. He's talking about that internet shield, like, you know, like this is just the internet, right? But like, let's keep it here. Remember, we're potting.
To beat you up. I gotta put some ground rules. Yo, when you beat them with the words, they try to hold on now. I was speaking of Fab. Fab over there with a pinky up. He's sipping. While like his boo, Mano, is over here going crazy for him. Like, yo, what? Yo, he could talk too. But okay, I bet. He gonna hold it down for his boo. I get it.
Yo.
I feel
There's no realm where Ak has his energy and these motherfuckers are standing right in front of him. I promise you. Even with security.
Look, you know what I mean? He blushing. Now Mano, he popping it. Here we go.
Let me just say,
We're talking about legends. It's equivalent to like some reporter going off it and saying and discrediting everything that Jordan did, not acknowledging the fact that, you know, these are OGs in the game.
I feel like you built like a wet bag of laundry.
That's good. I like that one.
I feel like
I've heard that before though. Jim, don't laugh too much. You still that beard is too gray. I got you too. Don't worry. Hey, by the way, I want to let y'all know if any of y'all get mad, we're potted. Okay?
like you're built. No, listen. I feel like you're built like a jar of relish.
Woo! That was a good one. I had to Google that one. That was good though.
You understand? You see. Here's the thing. Like this ain't no gangster talk. We ain't gonna do no gangster. Listen, what I'm saying.
Okay, yo. Now I do want to point out to y'all, the whole time Jim Jones is. We ain't see y'all talk about a Max B topic yet, but okay. I want to see you do that to that, but okay, I got you. Then Fabulous is the nigga I was talking to, and he's sitting in the corner sipping tea, pinkies up, and we got Mano showing up like he's in the principal office. He's in the principal office when your mama show up trying to say why the teacher bullying my kid, and he over there acting like he ain't a bad one. Yo, Fab, I heard all your raps. You could talk, but okay, I'll let your boo talk for you.
Saying since you want to speak about.
You see what I'm talking about? But I love it though. You know, being from New York, man, I love a good roast session. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Talking to some grown ass men right now, brother. Even you, academics, even you pointed out the fact that they're old niggas. Old niggas are not gonna be as adjusted as they want to be to this, you know, this new game, this new internet game and shit like that. Old habits die hard, brother.
At Senior Citizen comment. Yo, chat, let me tell you this. I keep telling y'all the reason why I'm undefeated online, because I'm going to figure out what really triggers y'all. When I said these, yo, let me pull up all their ages. This is what hurts them. Look, right here. Mano H. Mano is 52 years old, y'all, chat. That shit is hurting. Okay, I got you, bro. Jim Jones H. 49. Fabulous with the headband H.
Hold on, I thought Jim Jones was older than Mano. Mano got some skincare routine. You know, you've been eating beets and some green smoothies and shit. He tapped in.
So here, Academics prefaced it by saying, like, hey, so you're sure, Mano, we are just podcasting right now. Like, I'm not trying to get into it with you. I don't want any problems, which is fair. He's like, look, listen, this is some podcast. We're not actually beefing, because he talks about having linked up with Mano before, pouring up shots, you know, enjoying their time together, unlike Jim Jones, who Jim Jones pulled up on him with some energy where it's like, yo, you got a problem? Nah, so he starts making fun of Mano where he's like, yo, I was talking about Fab, and you coming out here defending your boo. This is funny. I don't think this is an escalation because, let's be real, we know these guys are not HOMOs, right? We know they're not Rainbow Crew. We know that. So this isn't too much of an insult, and he's still just talking about their relationship. So this is still all in good fun, right? They're just laughing at each other, trading words. There's nothing that's taking it to the next level. However, though, unfortunately, Mano could not handle being called old from what it looks like, because he would come back with something dastardly. So keep in mind, at this point, Academics still hasn't really escalated it. Like, first,
his anonymity is his bedroom or wherever the fuck he streams from or, you know, records his videos. And I know he be outside, right? But I don't think he been outside like that since Tekashi. Tekashi was a good shield. You don't have no shield like that no more. You been talking a lot of shit, unless I'm missing something. Because, you know, these old heads got ego, and the ego is eventually gonna take hold.
it was Academics they talked about how Academics was built, right? So now you're not just talking about the person's relationship or like his homies, right? You're talking about how he's built. And then Academics is still just talking about their dynamic and their age. And people call Academics old too. That's the funny part. But he doesn't take it to heart like these guys do. People talk about Academics lying about his age, which I don't think is true. Like people saying, nah, he was actually born in 87, not 91. I'm just like, bro, frankly, does it really matter? Does it? I mean, you got Charlemagne that's still talking about hip-hop stuff, and was Charlemagne born in the 80s or the late 70s? I don't know, frankly. But Mano gets in his car, and he starts going brutal with it. And this is where I think, this is, the first one was a minor escalation, which is all in good fun, right? Like, Academics is largely known for the McDonald's memes. And Academics decided to take some material from Mano. He decided to dish out publicly, and this was hilarious. I'm going to play you guys this clip right now.
The big dictator.
Yes.
Did you like that?
Huh?
No, what was the role play?
Yeah.
The role play.
What was the roles?
This feels like it's going to be so wrong.
It's so wrong. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've
Oh my
never talked
God.
about this.
Ah, sh-
You should talk about it.
I like to be like a runaway slave.
Okay, no.
Mano,
what?
What you mean by that?
oh my God.
I like to play like a runaway slave.
Okay.
I like to play like a disobedient slave with a white woman.
So tell me like what you
Wait a fucking whoa. Mano, brother. Come on, man. You fuck.
The big dictator. Whole time I'm calling you Mano, I should call you Toby.
Fuck.
Whole time I'm calling you Mano, your name should be Mano Kente. Kunta Mano. Kunta Kente, whatever. Whatever one you want. Mano, you see you up, right?
say.
Yes, Master. I was sorry.
It's just two. It's two of them. Like it's like me getting whooped, right?
Boss. Sorry. Shit. Out. Listen. Out. Oh. Making us look bad, brother. Making us bad. Look so bad. I never saw this clip. And Mano's still hard, you know what I'm saying? Like he's still one of them OGs, you know what I'm saying?
Mano, you the big dictator fantasizing about getting whooped.
This is crazy because you got to keep in mind, Mano is also talking about how, Ak wasn't player and, he wouldn't understand. He gets,
If you know, you know what I'm saying? Street niggas is fuck, Mano, what the fuck?
used by chicks, this and that. When Academics also pulled up a clip of him talking about having dropped 10 bands at the strip club and not getting anything and feeling like he should have got something else because of that. But this is where Mano he couldn't even wait until the next podcast recording to deliver this response where he took things to another level, and I feel like he failed. Major failure here. I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now.
He's been through so much in his lifetime, especially coming from a place like New York, to have not built up the wherewithal to know that you need to be moving strategically at this point. Like, look at 50, bro. Look how long this motherfucker held on to that shit. Big moves, he plots. He's not at the age where he can just act out and, of course we could do it. Of course we know you could do it. Academic is a youngin' compared to Mano. Obviously, he's not a youngin'. Mano should have had a little more decorum. You know what I mean?
Was it your lane when that lady said that you forced herself on her? Huh? Is that your lane?
Exactly my point, chat. You could tell he's in his feelings. We went from joking on each other. He's making accusations that you should know. It's the same thing we said about Drake and Kendrick. Once people start saying accusations like that, we're no longer in a joking mood, right? There's a few women who hit me up about Mano who would love to put things out. I have declined because once you go that realm, if you are publishing things that are false, accusing a man of doing some of the most heinous things, it means you want to take it another route.
Huh? Is that your lane? All word, because that's what you accused for, right? Ain't that you paid out for?
And it's crazy that Ak has the more sense in this situation. I haven't been giving that boy enough credit. When it comes to this social media thing, this content thing, he is very smart. He's very keen. He's very locked into the shit.
Mano, I could file a lawsuit for you for even saying that. I've never paid out $1 for any type of or any type of allegations regarding sex or any woman. I've never paid out $1.
And see, that's the thing too. Like, defamation has been flying around these days like crazy. And people are not afraid to do that shit. And it's like, when you come on the internet especially as a public figure, you know, you gotta have your facts straight because there's going to be people that are gonna gun for you. Mano's, you know, he's got to tread lightly with this shit.
That would be a lawsuit, but that wouldn't be too cool, right? But it just tells me you're in your feelings. You're just making sure.
Now, this is the problem. This is the problem. He couldn't hold it up. Like I said earlier, and this is a major, major escalation because you're like, yo, ain't this you? Academics pulled up something that he talked about publicly. And like I said earlier, he could have pulled up the initial response to the headband by bringing out a bunch of, their producer needs to help them with this. Like, they need a smart producer because these guys aren't going to think about it themselves. I don't think they're used to doing back and forths, you know, different roasts, especially on the internet. Mano's probably just used to bullying people. He's like, yo, this guy said something. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, let's get him beat up or something like that. I mean, he did have a kidnapping charge years ago. So instead of keeping the conversation about being player, right, which is the back and forth talk somewhat that was going on between Mano and Academics. So Academics is like, yo, you're the big D dictator and you're posing as somebody that's got to run away from their white master. Like, what the hell's going on there? And you're throwing these bands at the strip club. And Academics talks about like, oh, I've never handed out money at the strip.
Crazy fucking joke, bro. It's not even a joke, but like crazy thing to say online, brother. Like, some shit just keep to your goddamn self, bro. Like, we all can have our fucking fetishes, but like, ain't nobody out here. It's not fucking everyday talk.
Strip club. I've never paid for a chick direct, or unless she was my girlfriend or something like that. And instead of keeping it on the player talk, he goes directly to, yo, ain't this you? You caught this case. You had to pay out, which he hasn't had to pay out. The case is still ongoing. But this was the biggest missed opportunity because he could have kept it on the player talk. Because the reason that Academics ever got this civil case, by the way, is because he couldn't keep a player. That was the reason. Because he had decided to open his mouth, and the embarrassment led to that chick being like, oh no, I didn't want that to happen. So for those of you that don't recall what happened, it had come out that like he was on stream or something, and like his girl at the time was angry at him, but he drives to his studio, starts a podcast / stream, and airs out the situation. He's like, yeah, you know, this chick, what happened was she was staying at my crib, and then I cracked or something like that, and then I seen on the cam she was getting cracked by my two homies. So two of his mans, they were training her, and then he's like, yeah, and she was trying to pretend like nothing ever happened, and she was like, yeah, you know, it was fun, this and that. And I'm like, yo, you got cracked by two of my mans. And she was like, oh, and then I forgot what happened, but she was saying that she had a good time, all of this and that. When he was asking her about how the day went, he didn't specifically ask about that event, and then he asked about the event. But him bringing this to the public on the podcast resulted in her saying that he essayed her after that or before that, and this led to the case. So had Academics not talked about this situation, he likely would have never faced this civil case from this lady.
Why?
Because
Well, you keep your shit off the internet. It doesn't make you look any better. As a person of the internet, we know what the internet does with certain information, especially information that is lethal to you.
Because after that, people started like harassing her and found her name, and they were like, yo, this is the chick that got a train ran on her. And she's feeling so embarrassed that, you know, maybe that distorts how she felt about the situation in the past, because all of these guys are in that lawsuit now, unfortunately for them. So what he could have done instead is be like, come on, man, you know, you going through this lawsuit. You wouldn't have gone through this lawsuit if you kept it player. He's like, you know, as many times as I've run away from these, I think like the whole running away thing with the master, I don't know how you can really defend that, but you can shift it to this situation where you're like, yo, you caught this lawsuit because you couldn't keep a player. Like, you know, us old heads, we know how to do that. That's why we're not dealing with a situation like that right now, although he does have his own history. And then he brings out the 15-year-old, the mod for Black Boy Max, which was a very, very big error on Academics' part, and it was very inappropriate, and he's still indefinitely banned from Twitch because of that. Academics can't appear on Twitch streams because of that situation, so that really harmed him. But he's trying to point it out like, oh yeah, he's a deviant, and like anybody that tried to point it out like Academics was into dudes and the kid is just you're dragging it, you're stretching it, and that's not the case. So for him to call Ak a deviant when
But see, that's the thing though. Like he went on there and he said all that fucking gay shit to the underage kid, and like it's like we're on the internet, bro. Like you know how this shit works. Somebody gonna clip this shit. This shit gonna come up later, brother. You talking about like yes, in those spaces there's a lot of homophobic talk up in there, right? If half this shit that was talked about in the goddamn PlayStation parties back in the day got released, brother, we'd all be going to jail.
He, out of his own mouth, is talking about activities that are quite deviant, is a little bit wild. But I think that's how he could have kept it fun. But now, once he took it to this point,
Ak only has really the bag. And, you know, his following really gives him a safeguard. I don't think he has goons or anything, you know, like since Tekashi, there's no backup. He's just out here on the internet making his bread from it.
it's like, dog, you're just like escalating the level of disrespect, because that's something that it's harming your sponsors, it's harming your deals, it's harming your genuine reputation, and it's not something that he has put out there. Like Mano, he was on that podcast, which was Angela Yee's Lip Service, where they talk about grimy, dirty stuff like that, and he volunteered that information knowing that it was on a podcast. So I think that was like dirty-ish by Mano, but it's because Mano just doesn't know how to play this game. He's built to tell stories, not get into back and forths with people. Like, for example, Fat Joe and Jadakiss, I think they could do this a little bit better, but Mano, I think he's better off just telling stories, telling tales of the times that he used to be in the rap game, and they have discussions about that.
And that's what I mean about the old heads. And they have these old habits. Like, you know, back in the day, it was more about your pride. And, you know, we moved a different way. When they saw each other in real life, dog, things were going down back in the day. I think these legendary, you know, celebrities are forgetting. You know, these legendary rappers who, you know, paved the way, and, you know, who, you know, came up during the times where, you know, you needed to be spitting, you know, to get recognized. They're forgetting that, you know, they don't need to prove nothing. Like, they don't need to be doing all this back and forth and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, the accolades show everything.
Going back and forth, it does not seem to be his strong suit unless it's going to escalate to the physical level. And then Academics made it clear in the beginning. He's like, yo, listen, I'm not trying to get into no beef with you. We're just doing this podcast talk. We've got rules of engagement. Like, you're not about to start throwing elbows or kicks in the boxing ring.
So yeah, that's the summary of the Ak and Mano beef. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Fab, you know, Fab, you did the right thing here. He didn't say much. You let, you know, Mano go off on his little rant, but like that's all he needed to do. Honestly, he didn't need to say anything. He doesn't need to go back and forth with a little nigga like Ak. You know what I mean? Like, you guys already know. Like, you guys come from the you know, the days where reputation in the streets meant something, and you had to be doing things out there to gain said reputation. So are we really that entertained? That's gonna be all for this one, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000, please. And I'll catch you in the next one, gang.